Good morning, everybody. Let's call the committee of the whole meeting to order for Wednesday, November 20th. Lucy, will you call the roll, please?
Supervisor Fondler.
Here.
I'm here. Township Manager.
Here.
Trustee Bowman is absent. Trustee Tam.
Here.
Trustee Fornique. Here. Trustee Wilhite. Assessor Herb. I don't see her. I see Director Dillon and Director Mark and the Highway Superintendent.
Can we also have that seat?
We're going to have to add to it.
There you go. Okay, please stand and join me. Ms. Lena.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, any public comment? Okay, seeing no one raise their hand.
No, I don't.
We'll move on to administrative update.
Just two things real quick. IOM was here Monday to begin cutting down the vegetation and the retention pond. They got about a third of the way done and the rain started coming down too heavy. So we'll finish prepping it and then they'll let us know when they come to for the slow burn, and then we'll obviously let everybody know. And then Monday morning we have our kickoff meeting with MPT, the all-staff meeting, to kind of give staff a heads up that they're going to be getting the position survey, so they know what that is legit and what to expect. And then immediately following that, we have Hub, our insurance broker, come and they'll address the changes to the insurance plan to those employees who participate or so both of those are happening next month.
Any questions?
What is the tax income rate for money?
That's Friday, December. You talking with the treasurer?
Yeah.
It's Friday, December 6th.
What time?
8 to 1.
Thank you.
Okay.
So, real quick, the kickoff with the consultants,
With MGT?
Yes. Was that virtual? Was that when they come here?
Yeah, so it's gonna. I'll have a Zoom meeting on and show just everybody all at once.
Do they plan physically attending at any point on that?
Probably. I mean, they can, but there will be an added cost.
Okay. That wasn't in the proposal, but
It was.
some of it was. But I thought some of them they were going to physically be out here. But whatever, it is what it is.
So can people come in via Zoom instead of coming here?
Yeah, we can set up that way. Yeah.
If you could set it up on Zoom, that'd be great.
Oh, you understood.
So might be.
We've already signed it. It's already been the contract with them.
Yeah. They've already started. They've already met. We've already met with them.
Yeah,
And they've already started working on.
Oh, yeah. So even meeting with them, that was virtual too?
yeah. Then it's out on today.
Where are they located?
Bolingbrook, I think.
Oh, so they're here.
They're in Illinois. Yeah.
And one of them, yeah.
I think it was Northfield.
Could I Bolingbrook, but I'd answer.
Yeah, I don't think it is. I think the home office is out east.
So it's not Bolingbrook.
I
don't think it is.
It might not.
I don't know. I don't have it with me, so I couldn't tell you. But we could email.
So when you met with them, how was it? Like any feedback you were
No, I thought they're very professional. They want to help. It seems like they've done this numerous times before, so they understand the.
good morning.
Good morning.
They know what they need from us, so they're helping us get what they need because they've done it before. So we were in the process at that time still collecting, I believe, the job descriptions, right? We hadn't given them to them. This was a pre-meeting, right?
Right. Yeah. So I've given them the spreadsheet that they asked for, and then I'm funneling in the job description. So
job descriptions, then something else they wanted.
that position.
Oh yeah, the position sheet, right? Okay. So yeah, we're getting all that to them so they can continue doing their work. And then the Monday is the review the questionnaire.
No, it's actually to make the staff aware that the questionnaire is coming and what types of questions are going to be on it.
And they're very, I looked over the questionnaire because I was hesitant about this, so I wanted to see what it was first. So I'm okay with the questionnaire, and then they're going to complete it, and then after they're done with it, they're going to give time for the department heads to review their responses. It just has to do with like, do you feel you're a self-starter? Do you feel like you have to be told every day what to do? Do you feel like there's a room to advance or something like that? They're very good questions. It's nothing like where you would talk badly about your job or your boss or a fellow employee. It's nothing like that. It's all strictly about you and the work you do. And do you need guidance? Do you feel there's room for advancement? That sort of thing.
Okay.
So I would.
And the results of that will be used to assess.
Yeah. So the questionnaire is, if you recall at the board meeting, there was two sections to there was a classification and then there was a salary set. So the questionnaire is the classification, the job classification. So they're looking for similarities between the different departments and what the role is, so they can properly classify it to complete that half of the role.
Okay, any other questions on that?
Thank you.
Yep. Well, all right. So move on to committee updates. I don't suppose we have 2-minute updates since last Thursday's meeting. No, I don't have 1 minute. So if anybody has, we'll go around the room, of course, but I'm saying I don't think there's a whole lot that we have to, has changed since last Thursday, but if there has, anything from the community center.
What time is Thanksgiving?
You have to be a friend.
You have to be a friend right at the beginning.
Okay. Got it. It gave you something.
We have 104 people signed up.
Wow.
Do you need our help? Like, don't we always go? No. Yes.
Usually we do the jingle ball, yes.
Okay.
That's the one, that's December 1st.
Yeah, we do that.
Yeah.
So friends, is anybody else going? Yeah. And I'll be there too. 12 noon.
So, yes, let me know please, because I will be assigned to the phase, that kind of thing, because, yeah. Oh,
So if it starts at noon, should they be there before that?
Oh, yeah.
yes, so
Yeah.
11:30. Yes, please.
Thank you.
Any questions for community center? Okay, move on, communication. We did not meet, we have not met since the last meeting, as far as communication being going for. But we do, I do have copies of the senior gift drive. If anybody needs them, could you hang one up at your office, or would you like one for the highway department? I have a few copies here. I'm glad to share those with everybody. Because I think we have 2 more weeks left on collection for the collection drive.
And this is shared on Facebook already,
Yes.
right? So we
And
can
the
share it.
e-blast. Yep.
We can share it.
And the e-blast.
Perfect.
And then, of course, the winter newsletter should be on the website as soon as morning. And we're still trying to schedule a new date for our meeting. So then we'll move on to health and wellness.
So I just have a couple of updates. We put the Giving Tree and it went live, so if anybody wants to sign up for that, we still have some slots. It's going pretty well, actually.
Yeah.
You know how many families total? To take this?
Well, 50 kids, 50 youth,
Okay.
and / 50 adults. There is one on there. They are 105. I get a lot of calls. People think that that's a typo. It's not. She's 105.
Wow.
So,
That's amazing.
yeah.
And she lives in our community?
She
We
lives
should
in our
do
community.
something for her.
Wow.
105.
What is she asking for?
Right? We should do
Well, you
something
said
for her.
Perfume. Yeah.
She's got a date.
Yeah.
Where does she live exactly? Lake Zurich or?
Lake Zurich.
Okay, Lake
Yeah.
Zurich.
And
That's
they
awesome. We should highlight that.
Yeah. I was thinking
Should we
that.
highlight that?
I was one of the calls to Sarah. I'm like, Sarah, does it mean she's 105? She said, that's what it means.
Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe say a happy birthday to her on Facebook or something.
we could. We'll see, because I don't want to call her out. She may not want to be called out.
That's good.
Yeah, ask her.
Well, I-
Most people 105 don't give it.
She's
They feel like, do it. You know?
Yeah.
Bring it on.
Yeah.
So we still have some of those open. We're going to be picking up the turkeys on Friday at 11 o'clock from Jewel. We do have a couple extras, so if anybody knows anybody who needs a turkey, they can tell me by Friday. And then for our Yuletide hot meals and ham, I put the deadline as December 6th, but really by December 13th, we need to know everybody who's going to participate in that. And then this year, unfortunately, we will not be able to do Shop with the Cop. The Lake Zurich Police Department is just too short-staffed. So they have elected not to do that this year.
Even with, like, if we volunteer, because I've always been willing to help.
It's not us, it's the cops.
Okay, and that's fine, I get it.
Yeah.
There, and the kids go in the cop car.
Yeah, I know, it's a big deal. Well, we can bring them in the Ela Cross.
Yeah,
Good?
right.
Ela.
Yeah, Ela truck, yeah. Okay, well, maybe next year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are our big updates.
Does anybody need coats, like kids' coats?
A lot of people do drive.
Yeah, so if they do a coat, this is just like Homewood.
The Y?
If we do a coat drive, can we
The
give the
Y does.
coats to you? Oh, sorry.
The Y's doing, there's several, I know,
And
Jim
Jimmy
Lundy
Fox
is taking them, and
I think St.
Francis
Francis
is taking
is
them.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
there's
we
a
do
lot
want
of
to give them to.
Yeah,
I was
we've
just
never
wondering
done
if
one.
you-
We have a lot of people who call us, like the village called us yesterday and was like, we have this free furniture, and then we are able to connect with somebody else to give it to them.
Okay.
So we do a lot of that where people are like, well, I have this. We're like, well, we'll take it and we'll find somewhere for it to go. As long as it's not huge. Like we weren't going to take the furniture,
Right.
but we can connect dots. So,
Okay, thank you.
yeah.
How is the Linden Club is doing?
Well,
It's doing, huh?
it's doing. Yeah,
It's moving.
it's moving.
Have the signs helped?
I think the signs are fantastic. Yeah. Yeah. I think
Good.
That's great.
They haven't, yeah, we haven't had as many on the front door as they used to.
I think that really helps a lot of people know where to go.
Any questions? Okay, next, Parks and Recreation. I know that Mike's crew is working on winterizing the concession stand, and you'll be having somebody come out to take care of the sprinkler system.
That's already done.
That's already done, okay. And then eventually the nets are coming down.
Yep. Probably this week.
Along the pickleball tennis courts, the pickleball nets will be coming down, and that'll be locked up.
And the windscreens, I did measure all the damaged windscreens to get an idea of what we're going to need for next year. We need about 400 feet to replace.
Did we replace any of it yet, or those are all the original?
No, we replaced about 150.
And how did that survive?
Really good.
So we're going to get more of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I ordered the stuff that we have up now, the newer stuff. It's got sewn-in vents, and they're square vents, and they're a lot nicer.
Okay.
You could actually get double vents put in the screen, which I think we probably should do for next year.
We need to see that it's like top and bottom versus just in the middle? Okay.
So,
All right, well, we'll work on that later.
that is budget.
Yeah.
Would it be possible to look at that for the community center as well? Because as you know, those are doing the same thing.
The ripping?
Yeah, it's a ground instead.
They tear it off.
I think it's weathered and
I know.
some stakes on it. And the stuff that I ordered for this year seems to have held up pretty good, so.
Okay.
How is the pickleball, like, I guess it's more from Santa Gloria? You know how we had issues with residents, has all that died down?
Oh, yeah.
It's not wood.
Yes, it has. I mean, I'm sure there's probably still some people that are not abiding by all the rules, and I know that for a fact, but other than that, I haven't heard any
Given no formal, like,
complaints. Yes, no formal complaints.
So
Or
we
emails.
We have a new pickleball court, the Heritage Park, I'm sure you know. So that will help, I guess. I don't know if the numbers have changed or anything, but snow will help.
it's no good.
For sure.
Seems like the more pickleball courts are rising up everywhere, that all this drama will go away.
Let's hope, yeah, I mean.
They come to play here from far away.
Far away, yeah.
I mean, there's some people that come from Hoffman Estates, and I forgot where the other was, Grace Lake or something like that. They were meeting friends, that one couple from Grace Lake, but it's like, really? And it's like, but yeah, they think they're the best around, so we'll see.
The Heritage Park it's brand new, but it's been dead. Nobody's been there.
Really?
So we're like, okay,
Wow.
good. We haven't had any drama.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Highway Committee. Anything new there?
Yes.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I got a call from Matt from Vanell about a truck that we ordered.
Okay.
And as of right now, he doesn't have a date for them to receive the chassis, but
Oh, God.
he said we could expect delivery by next November.
Next November, a year from now.
Oh. From now.
Yay.
It'll be
So,
obsolete.
For next year's snow plowing.
Yeah.
It will be obsolete by then.
so even if we looked into a different chassis, it would probably be at least a year and a half.
So we're not going to look at somebody else. They're still going to do it just for the heck of it. Gosh.
And
That's a shame.
he did say that International could give us pricing on the MV model truck that would replace the truck 5 that we have now, the low pro, that we use to plow Forest Lake. So we're going to look into that.
What's the ETA on that?
Okay.
Well, we better get going on that then, if it's going to take as long as the snow plow.
2 years or 2.5 years. Or
Can the bus snow plow? Because I can get one in 4 months.
yeah.
Just saying.
And then another point of equipment.
Yeah, I know. How's that one?
So, to say the least, our equipment replacement plan.
Yeah, it's
got shot.
gone up the window. Yeah. Wow, that's a shame. Well, there's nothing we can do about it, unfortunately. That's too bad.
We finished a couple skip patching jobs in Forest Lake, some asphalt we got done before the weather turned. And we've got one more ditching job in North Barrington that we're going to try to get done before it gets too bad. And now we got a call from Long Grove. They want some asphalt done by the new Village Hall division. I don't know if we're going to get to it because the weather's supposed to get
Bad, yeah, it's supposed to get cold now, yeah.
They might close the plant before that, so we'll see what happens. That's all I got.
When is snow predicted? You know?
He can't say.
Tomorrow afternoon, you know?
In the morning.
In the morning?
Morning rush hour.
I might be able to cut that down. Okay, thank you.
It's supposed to just stick the grass, so
Oh.
nothing like that.
Can you hear him play doing that?
Pardon?
Can you hear him play?
He's doing great. He really is. It's been a very good hire. Yes.
Both of them, no?
Yeah. Arthur, our seasonal, came in and learned the snowplow route. He actually learned 2 routes. He's very familiar with everything. He's plowed the past. He's done, they went out on the mowing route and cut up some weeds. So he got familiar with that. And then I believe he's going to come in and work with Arnie. Well, Arnie's gone.
Arnie's going to Mexico for the holidays, so we need to find a replacement cleaning person for almost a month, yeah.
Yeah.
A month.
It is exactly one thing. Instead of hiring another firm,
Yeah.
he's willing and able and super grateful for the opportunity. So yeah.
He's called me a couple times since he's been off saying, hey, can you even come in on anything?
Because right now he's only seasonal, he's looking for more work, so. Who, the new guy?
Yes.
No, the new season.
Our
season.
season.
Full-time and
He only works really full-time in the summer, he's only on call in the winter for snow plowing. So he's more than willing to come in.
Not too bad.
So yeah, he's been.
He's involved.
Yeah,
Our
very
is
nice.
the seasonal. And
Have you met him? Yeah.
I haven't met him. I think Monday he's coming over.
Oh, okay.
Tomorrow. I talked to him, he said it'll be at 4 o'clock.
He'll be here, right. He'll be coming over. I thought Arnie said last night he's coming Monday over here.
I don't know, but.
I assume he did both.
Yeah, we was in.
Regular, as his regular routine. Okay, cool. All right, any questions so far? Okay, next. Bus service, I don't know if you need a report, we're still working on the situation with our residents who may not have service beginning of the new year. We're still working on that. Penny's not here, I have no updates on that. Historical Society, I have no updates on that, other than I know that they've had it on their, kind of their wish list for a couple of years to get new carpeting on the main floor in the Historical Society. And so we have been putting some money into the budget to replace it. Mike and I met with our engineer from Gaywell, Darren, and we also met a structural engineer out there because that building is from 1850 something, okay?
65.
Okay, whatever, 1865. And so I'm not sure, first, is that floor even really meant to hold all these displays that they've got there. It's kind of worry sometimes.
Yeah.
So, and we know it's not level, so to go put new flooring in, it makes sense to level it. So I had the structural engineer come out, he's supposed to write up a report. He thinks the joists downstairs are pretty good because they were built in the day when a 2x4 was a 2x4. You know what I mean? They're thicker, they're heavier. There's a couple things that are wonky that we're going to look into, but they strongly suggest that we remove everything off the floor and then put like 2 different layers underneath to make it level before we put something on top of it. We were hoping that we could move, like empty the displays, pack them up, and just move the display cases over and do half at a time. But to make it level, it needs to be done all at the same time. He said there was 2 layers, don't remember what they were though.
The leveling is the expensive part.
Probably, no, probably more than the carpeting for
Yeah,
sure.
for sure.
Yeah. So it will take some manpower, and if we can get going on this by February, it's possible that maybe I'm volunteering the highway here, but the volunteer highway might be able to help carry some of those things, or we might have to hire movers, but we will have to rent a pod to store everything in temporarily, because there's no place to go with it other than out the door, really. So this is the challenge for next year. And I said, this is going to take an all buy-in from you guys. I told them that 2 or 3 times that they brought this subject up. It's going to have to take buy-in from you guys because you're going to be packing this stuff up, not us. So we'll see how this all comes together.
Are you considering like a vinyl flooring instead of carpeting?
We've talked about both.
Okay.
We're not sure yet.
Okay, just as wondering.
Yeah, we're not sure. We should go with this kind of flooring.
Right.
It would definitely have to be level if we're going to go this kind of flooring. If we're doing carpeting, not so much. So we'll have to, yeah, carpeting is quieter. And obviously you'll have to clean it every, but versus washing it. They don't have a cleaning person. They take care of whatever needs to be done there. So, but yeah, that is for discussion. They have to make that decision. So, any questions on that? Okay. Don't forget I want to talk about that light. Okay, thanks. All right, we'll move forward. Cemetery, I have nothing new to report there. So move on to topics for consideration. The conversation on the employee review. Ted handed out that review last town meeting, I believe. And he heard nothing from anybody. Yeah. Well, I mean, as of the day we posted this, we had heard nothing.
He sent it yesterday. I sent it.
So we handed it out at the last cowbell, and we heard nothing. So that's why we just put it on here to see if anybody had any last changes before it was implemented. So,
yeah, we were going to discuss it today, so I had sent it out again, and he sent it out, and I sent some updates to it.
I haven't seen them, I don't know what you sent.
I sent it last night because you sent it yesterday, so I worked on it.
okay, well,
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Why are you bringing this to us?
Yeah.
Is there this is, to me, is internal matter, administration matter, and I don't know that we're supervising, we're going to be doing performance evaluations, etc. So, as far as I'm concerned, administratively, if you're set with it, I have no problem with it.
Well,
So,
just
I guess where does our purview come in that we're going to micromanage employee performance evaluations? That's my thoughts.
well, this was a change.
Pardon me?
This is the hot seat over
Yeah,
here.
right.
This was a change from the past, and I think that's why Ted, the only reason Ted brought it up. But
yeah, because I fear that if I didn't do that, I would have been asked why the board didn't see it first. And so I figured I would just do it this way, so that way if there are any concerns or questions, we can address them before we make the change.
Okay.
But that's a professional review that you got somewhere.
Yeah, most of it. Yeah.
Most of it.
I piecemealed it from a couple of different organizations that had similar. The reason I felt we needed to make a change in the first place was because I felt our old way of doing it was very arbitrary. There was no, there was a brief description of what does each number represent, but there's a lot of.
it was too vague.
Yeah, it was too vague. I mean, it wasn't very clear and concise. And so my goal was to make it a little bit more clear. But I mean, my issue with these, at its core, is we do these reviews once a year. That's insinuating, so that implies that I do Mike's reviews. If I have an issue with Mike, I'm talking with him well before
Right.
January comes
For
up.
sure.
So what is the what is the point of doing it in the first place? Especially if, okay, I do Mike's review, he gets a 4.25. When it comes time to annual increases, that 4.25 doesn't come in. I mean, the board asks, okay, well, how did you do? And I say, oh, I went great. You know, he did well, he scored well. But somebody with a 4.25 might get a 3% increase, and somebody with a 3.2 might get a 5. I mean, there's no like set up standard that if you get this, it does this. It means this. So eventually, I want to get rid of this and replace them with monthly check-ins, anyways. But I didn't have time to reformat the whole process this year, so I just at least tried to make it more clear. So when the employees come in, they sit down.
I understand all that. I've never been in a board meeting, never in my professional experience have I seen a board address employee performance form.
I understand.
That's why I'm bringing it up. I mean, to me, that's administration comes up with it, you go with it. If there's personnel issues, whatever it may be, we may say, hey, did you fill this out? Can we see it? But to me to say, well, this should be this or that.
I agree with you. I just
Okay.
We've been questioned on several things over the last couple of years regarding all kinds of different things. So I think he's just trying to be open about it.
All right. Thank you for the clarification.
It was really well done. Really just an idea. I added to it. And one of the things in the end that said, writing to human resources, we don't have human resources. So
technically we do. I mean, we don't have a, but like I am.
Department.
Yeah. So.
But our staff knows all that.
right. It was a great job.
Okay, continued discussion of proprietary ownership of employee.
I don't know, if you guys had comments, you should.
I mean, I wrote them all down. If anybody wants to see it,
Now, Ted, have you, I don't, but she gave comments, have you had a chance to look at them?
No.
I sent them last night.
Okay, will you look at them and see
Oh,
if it makes
yeah,
sense?
100%. Yeah, absolutely.
Our supervisor decided.
100%.
Thank you. Just because of the time that was spent in supervising, I think she.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
Okay, discussion of proprietary ownership of employee creating classes. I know at the last board meeting, we brought this, not board meeting, town meeting, excuse me, we brought it up for discussion. Some of us saw both sides of the story, and we were asked to talk to legal and to see what their input was on that. And Ted talked to our attorney, and I'll let him
So I
give you the results.
gave Carrie Lynn the breakdown, the overview of the conversation, and basically she said, okay, so let's just use Jim's class. What was the name of the class that he won the award for?
Middle bounds? I'll have that.
Okay, the happiness class. So Jim he created the happiness class. He teaches it here. Jim leaves us for another organization, and he teaches that happiness class. One, we're probably not even going to know about it. Two, even if we did, are we going to sue Jim for teaching the happiness class? Of course not. Right? So there's that. Additionally, because we didn't go through the official copyright process, technically that class is foilable, and then they can just take it themselves because it's a public document.
Anybody can take it.
Anybody can take it as well. So nobody technically actually has ownership of it. So she said that this seems to be a conversation much about nothing.
Okay.
Since the board, again, we're not going to sue Jim or anybody if Susan sells a photo to National Geographic, we're not going to come for the money for the photo. So if
I were in that photo.
Yeah. Okay, now that's a question.
The Endeavor magazine. That would be AARP.
wow.
So there's much to do about it.
It also has to kind of
Unless we
have
want
any kind of, I
to.
remember.
Great. Oh, all right.
Yeah.
So what she said was, unless we want to go through the copyright process, she did recommend that we begin putting the copyright logo at the bottom of all of our trainings. They have no legal bearing because we didn't go through the copyright process. But if people see it, they will pause.
Right.
But
Okay.
So putting that there falsely? I mean, like, I don't want to put that in print on any of my materials if that's not matched by
Yeah, I mean, you won't get in trouble for it. I mean, this is, well, they said the lawyer. It was heard by, she said, well, what people do is they put the copyright logo in the bottom. The lawyer told, yeah, I mean, I didn't get it. I'm not going to figure this.
You said it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So she said, you can put it down there just to at least give people pause. Now, again, if they, like, we have no actual backing behind it, but, so.
I'm not comfortable doing it.
Adding a copyright thing?
Yeah, in the newsletter. I just, on any of our print, I'm just not comfortable doing that if it's not in the...
Oh, I agree, for sure, but.
I can't believe the attorney suggested it.
I'm a little bit concerned about that.
I
I know you're just...
Yeah.
We're just repeating what we heard, yeah.
Yeah.
It was sort of a surprise, actually, but.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm sorry, just about the pictures, a commercial license for like pictures you take and being used by Ely Township. The nonprofit I work with, we had a photographer do it, and she gave us a commercial license for the photos, and I thought it was good. It just kind of states, not any copies for people, that you could use it for like any photos you would take on a trip, that Ely Township can use it for advertising promotions of Ely Township, but people cannot take what you've done and use it for like Grant Township or another township without written permission. So it's just a commercial license for photography that is used for Ely Township, but anyone else who would like to use the photos that you've taken would need permission for that.
So,
That's an idea.
the second part of the conversation, so if we did that, then the question would be, does Susan own the pictures or does the township? Which is the crux of what the conversation was last time.
Right.
And so she says it's really not clear because.
I have a written thing here if you wanted to just take a look.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a commercial.
Who owns those pictures?
The pictures are owned by the nonprofit and photographer. So if we could use it for any publication, magazine, anything we do, but we can't sell those pictures to anyone, then the person, if we sold those pictures to anyone, the photographer would get a portion of the proceeds. So if the township would sell these pictures to anyone, Susan would get a portion of it. That's all it's saying. And it's just something to consider. I mean, it's just something we ran into the same thing, like, oh, this is commercial license, we're talking about this. You know, do what you will.
All right, well, we'll take a look at it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay? So we're all clear as mud? Okay. Discussion on purchase of a new bus. I know that I've been getting updates from Brett on our buses, and I knew that it was one of the two that we drive the kids to and from school after the after-school program. Are our oldest buses. They're from 15. This was when we first started our own bus company, so to speak, here at Ely Township. And I knew they were getting old. So I had Brett do an update comparison on writing down what their issues are. And I was hoping he could tell me one was worse than the other, but as far as he's concerned, they both need to be replaced. One is on a second transmission, one's on a third transmission, and it has mileage on there. They're both over 100,000 miles. They're good to have, like, for a backup maybe, but I do think that we should consider getting a new bus. It takes about right now it's about 4 months to get, I'm being told. And the current pricing, when I bought my first bus in 17 or 19 when I was here, it was like $75,000, $80,000, not without the additional equipment that we need in the lettering and stuff. That was the base. So to show a sign of what a new bus is today in 24, it'll be about $130,000. That's how much of an increase it's been.
Does that include a bathroom?
No, these are the little buses. No, these are the little buses.
But that's true.
Yeah.
For 130,000?
No bathroom. No, that's an extra.
Oh, geez.
Is that what all the extras?
No, well, the extras are the lettering, and I think you guys put the new money box in, so I don't think there's too much more that, maybe, and that's not even the lift, I don't think. The lift, well, he was planning, I don't know if that includes the lift.
So,
Because he knows we always get a lift, and now I'm questioning it. It doesn't say that, but he knows we always get a lift.
I'm sorry, I don't remember. Was this budgeted for this year or next year? Or?
It was not technically, but I don't think, well, there's money in the capital improvement fund, and I have money in there for a bus. Because in case something would happen, we would have the money. So if it came in within this budget year, it could come out of the capital improvement fund, there's money there. If not, we would definitely, it would still be there for the following budget year as well. So I would like to, I do think it's a good idea to move forward. Brett was, he's got all the technical terms. I could have him come here and talk about it if you want all the detail, but there's a spot here that I think it's this one. It's like when they come up the bus, this whole thing is rotting out, it's wearing out, and I don't want anybody to fall through it. That would be horrible. And he's keeping it as, up to code or as best as he can by maintaining it regularly, but we don't
want people falling through buses.
That would be bad.
And also the time it takes for him to maintain
Right.
that he could be doing other.
Right.
So supervisors, your suggestion, we go ahead and do this one?
I would like to I would like to be able to put it on the next board agenda for approval to move forward with the bus. And I won't get a final pricing until the chassis arrives. That's the only bad thing about it. But that's with anything, even the highway trucks that they order, they can increase 2-3% every year. That's in the contract, and we don't know what the price is until the chassis arrives.
So what do we commit to?
So I don't know, we'll just have to work.
Should we give them a price not to exceed?
Yes, we can do that.
That's what we have to do.
Yeah. And then otherwise we have to come back for approval if it goes over that.
We have to vote on it. I'm saying yes.
No, I'm just going to put it on the agenda that you guys approve in December. Is that okay?
Yes.
That is what I'd like to do. So if you have any more questions about any of the work, let me know and I'll go back to Brett and get a final answer, but he pretty much described everything in here. He described it to me, but I can't repeat it. I'm not a mechanic. Sorry.
Okay. Don't you think you should get started now and then approve it at the board meeting?
If you're all in agreement, I can do that. We can make a formal. All right, so do we want a motion to do that, or can I do that or not? I can't. Okay, I'm just taking a verbal poll that you're going to approve it in December. Okay. All right, then I'll get moving on that. We can get it sooner rather than later. Okay, thank you. Okay, change on potential role for community center employee Missy. I'll turn this over to Ted and Susan.
Is this an executive session discussion? Is it personal, like, what are we talking about?
We're changing,
We want to change the role and the salary. So, I mean, we
the salary would
we can move it into executive session if you want.
If it's salary and personnel.
Okay, discussion on fiscal year 25-26 tax levy. We had a preliminary discussion at our last, cow meeting. And, excuse me. And at the time, we were just using the base of what we asked for this year, which is $3,985,000 as a basis. And then Ted and I went through the whole, we went through where we're at our 6-month review and where we think we'll be at the end of this year budget. And then we went through the process of coming up with preliminary numbers for next year's budget. And so, I wanted to, I put this spreadsheet together, so if you have any questions you can ask me, but I have 3 years of history here. And what this depicts is that under total levy, let's say for 23, we got $3,896 and some change.
Wait, what are you saying the 3 minutes?
Right here. Right here.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's how much money we got. And we're projecting to spend $5 million at the end of the year. Okay? So then the year before that, we collected $3,588,000 and we spent $4,550,000.
Right.
Okay, so you follow that?
Yeah.
The yellow is what our final number would be from what we collected from road and bridge and equipment and building. Like in this number here, we asked for 192 and the 163, but at the end we only got the 267 grand total because 88,000 was given to our municipalities. So the question. So the real gist of all this is to prove that we're spending more than we're getting in the levy. Okay? So you know how that works in your own household. If you keep spending money that you don't have, right?
Right.
Okay, so now this is levy money. Okay, so we do have some additional money that comes in from highway
What about Susan's stuff?
and Susan's money. Correct.
I mean, community.
Right, I mean, long distance and stuff like that.
She does the work,
But that's what makes up the difference.
Right.
But just so everybody's aware that last year, total money collected, 4,776,000, and we spent 4,550,000.
Say those numbers again.
We collected 4,776,910 to be exact, and we spent 4,550,046. So we can move forward with again asking for the same total we did last year of $3,985,000, knowing that we're going to either two things: we either don't spend as much, or we continue to spend the $5 million, which has been consistent almost. I'm trying to remember, the $5 million included all those trucks? No, the one truck? The one truck only. The $5 million included expecting to pay for that one truck, which we're not going to get. So, this is the story. If we're going to spend down, we can spend down our reserves, which is what we can do, or we have to cut projects, or we have to ask for more. That's really what it boils down to.
Can I interject?
Yes, please.
If you look at the summary you put together for last calendar, right, I don't know if you have it with you, but if you look at the last page,
Ted does have it, right?
Yeah, but
the end result, if we did everything that was, quote, asked for from our request, right, we would end up with reserves, right, meaning money left over after this levy, which at that point was $3,820,000. So now we're up to $3,009,000, whatever, going back to the prior year. But end result, when we were done, our reserves would be about $3.2 million. I mean, money left going into the next fiscal year.
Carryover, right? Carryover
money. Then you look and say, in your mind, if everything fell apart, right? We had no revenue coming in, where whatever we needed that money to fund operations. The scenario is you should have a reserve equal to, some say 6 months, some say 9 months, some say a year, right? And I looked at it and said, I look at the audit report, and you look at saying, if my total expenditures, at least from the audit report, were $4,550,000
right
last year, for the year ended 3/31/24. So if I look at half of that, I'm at $2 million. You know, I'm looking at reserves, right? So to have 6 months, that would be about 2.25, 2.3 million. Mm-hmm. To have 9 months would be close to our $3 million here. Do you follow what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So and that's to say worst case, but we'd have that. And generally accepted, I believe, if you look at that, is had somewhere in that six month to 1 year scenario, not in excess of that. So if we go with this, we'd have $3.2 million based on expenditures of $4.5 million, whatever it may be. So we're right at 9 months effectively. So the board needs to look at it and say, do we want 6 months? Do we want 9 months? Do we want a year? If we want a year's worth, we need to boost this, right? And to boost it a couple $100,000 to get to that 1 year is less than the inflationary increase, right? And another 3 or 4% on that would give us where we need to be in a levy increase. But that's given us a year, in theory, of reserves. Now, Gloria Canal, I think you mentioned big capital expenditure items
right.
that may be coming. I mean, we provided for something in here, but not necessarily all of them.
Right, so right now, the money did include the money for that one truck, but as you know, there's a low truck that needs replaced, there's a wing mower we're looking at, and what was the other item? The bus. No, not the bus.
Mini excavator.
The excavator, we're the bus, they're not the bus. Yeah.
Right.
The reserve money is.
But the reserve money, yeah, so I mean, that adds up to like an extra $600,000-$700,000, right? Because the wing mower was like $250, and then, so, and this projected budget that Ted and I showed you last month did not, we don't know how the salary slate is going to come out and what that's going to mean at the end of the day. And so when we did the budget, we only used like a 3% increase. I shouldn't say only, but we used a 3% increase based on cost of living right now as a guideline, as something, because we don't know what that will be. So that could change the whole budget as well. I don't know.
So it all comes down, where do we want to be? I mean, we don't want too much. I don't want too much, right? I do want cushion, if that's the word.
Yeah.
And really, do we split the difference? To me, 6 months is a minimum.
I agree.
Right? 1 year is probably the max I'd want to go. So if we're in somewhere in between there, but if there's bigger items that she knows is definitely going to come about that will eat that up. I mean, in my mind, it's not that big of an increase to add a couple $100,000 to make sure we're okay. Conversely, going the same as last year will keep us all right. I mean, from having a reserve, but I wouldn't go less than what we did last year.
And I wouldn't go less.
No.
And if we only do the same this year with no increase, I honestly believe next year we'd have to see a bigger increase.
So that's the other thing to look at.
A bigger jump.
So what are you recommending?
Well, to me, I mean,
3% would be an
not that I
extra.
use this as a benchmark, but I look at the levies of all our participating municipalities that are in the township, and they're all at their max. They're all going 7, 8, 9% increases.
And they all ask for at least 5.
And they
That's
all
the minimum.
ask for
The max
the max they can get. We're not doing that.
No, we're not.
Right? We're staying within, we're looking to see what we need, and we're going with that.
But that's a good thing. I
It
think.
is a good thing. That's how it should be done.
I agree.
So to say incrementally, if we look the ability to say, inflation in my mind is what, 3%.
Roughly.
So if we boosted this thing 3%, are we staying up with inflation and these costs? Yes. But that kind of makes sense. It gets me to a 9-month cushion, between 9 and 12 months. And if there's something big that comes about, we're okay. And then going forward, we always have the ability, if we really have to boost it, we can, but because we're not near our tax cap.
We're not.
I just think we're being fiscally responsible by saying,
We only need this.
right, we don't need it.
Right, we
And
don't need to go.
keep the cushion that we do need, just in case.
To feel
Well,
comfortable.
especially with the uncertainty of when construction coming in.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, you don't know, so.
That's
you
part of
have
the problem.
You need to have a backup plan. It's really just having a backup plan. It's not a cushion, it's a backup plan.
Correct. Well, not only that, it's like, this building now is 15 years old. Okay, so like, for instance, number F, the fire compressor needs to be updated. The sprinkler. I'm getting phone calls from the fire department at 5 in the morning telling me there's a problem. And this is age related. And so other things are going to be happening with this building and everything. And like you said, cost of living, nobody's going down. Electricity's gone up. Everything's gone up. So I don't think a 3% increase is out of line, but I know that this could be a political year, and that some people don't want to do that, don't want to cause that issue. But I think we need to discuss this, because we have to decide where we're going, because it has to be on the budget, on the board agenda for next month to approve by the end of the year. What did you say?
I think the 3% is reasonable.
Yeah, and it's a couple hundred thousand. What is it, 3%?
3% is $119,000 increase overall.
Yeah.
It's,
And that will get us in the 9-month cushion.
Backup,
center.
not cushion, backup.
Yeah.
It's not a pitching, it's a
Well,
Well, say,
we have the money.
we got reserves. We got
We have
reserves if we
reserves
need
to
it.
pay for any emergency or anything that should come up, right?
So you gotta look at it, if we do nothing and then a year from now we gotta do 7%.
Right.
You know,
That's,
whatever.
I'd rather be a
And
little
how
bit
the
at a
chastisement
time.
because we did nothing. So, and in the whole scheme of things, 3% is $119,000.
Yes. So I don't even know how much that is a household. $1, $2, I don't really know. So I think,
I'm just listening.
I know, but I'd like to know your opinion because we have to vote on this next month.
I think it makes sense, but I don't know. Yeah, just listening right now.
Okay. All right, so are we gonna, so are you, she already said she's in favor of the 3%, and Doug, where would you go with this?
I'd be, yeah.
3%?
3%, yeah.
Something I think what we need, especially like you said with the trucks all coming in, I think that's 3% is a fair amount. I don't think we're asking for a ton of money.
If at the board meeting, instead of just doing a vote, Doug, if you could kind of word and explain it so that it's on videotape why we're doing what we're doing instead of just saying we agree to a 3% raise, like, because not everybody has the
All this suffering.
right. So just a little explanation so why we're doing it.
Sure.
And it's not like we're doing it to boost that. There's a reason for it, and it's to serve the public, to get the highway equipment, to do more. It's to serve.
Well, yeah, and like I said, even with the truck, we
Right.
started out at 75,000 a few years ago, and look at how much inflation's gone up.
So I just
3%
request that we do a little description before we do the vote, so it doesn't look like we're just saying it to say.
And it's a very good point. I think, to me, what sells me on it is what we should have worst case, right? In order for this township to keep operating. And the
Right.
norm is a 6 to 12 month
Right.
reserve balance. And if you look at least projecting where we're going to come out,
Right.
we would be at 9 months
Right.
with this increase.
So just having an explanation before we vote, I think is very
So,
important.
Yeah, because we know darn well if this truck's coming in next year, it's going to see another 3% increase.
Absolutely.
And that's with everything. So it's just the world we're living in right now. So
Thank you for doing all the numbers and stuff. Thank you for the explanation.
okay, so
So that's the first part of it, but now where are we putting that money?
I think we should leave it in town hall, the general fund, because eventually the plan is, right, presumably that the plan is everything will be moving over to, or we can split it and put some more on the highway if you want. I mean, that's a good question, I guess, you're right. Where would we, okay, so everybody saw a copy of the levy, right? So the $119,000, what fund do we put it in? That's the key. Because we have to decide, because we have all these different funds now, which we're trying to eliminate some, we're combining the cemetery and the parks under general town. And so we're not asking for any money directly for those two funds. So we have to decide, we're going to put some in the highway, which we're not moving over yet, but the goal is to spend that down, because they'll eventually move over to, hopefully to general town as well. So now we have to decide where to put the 120. Should that be our call? To look at the budget again and finalize it?
I mean,
We didn't talk about that at all.
yeah, we're at the top.
I agree. Yes.
Because we're moving more.
Could the truck use it on if it's in general account, like if something comes?
Yes, because they're no longer a road district.
Okay, yeah,
So
and it
if
was
they're
just a
under
question.
general town, now we could use that money to.
In case some truck
Yes.
came available or
We
something.
can use the million in general account.
Correct.
Wanted to make sure you had access, or, I'm sorry, not
I think
you,
that's
but
what
the
we-
highway department would have access.
Yeah, they would, because they're no longer a separate road district.
Which is kind of the crux of why we're thinking about moving the road to under general account in the first place.
Right. Okay. Thank you for that. We'll get the paperwork ready for that and vote on in December. Okay, so next was the International Fire Compressor. Did you get that?
Or he could.
Oh, you emailed it, yeah, you didn't print it out. Okay, so we were having problems. International Fire came out and looked at the sprinkler compressor, said, I'm going to do something to it to see if I can get it, hold it off. but he came and he did something, and I'm still getting phone calls from the fire department that there's a problem. So I said, I don't want to mess around with this. If we need the sprinkler system to work, I want it to work. I think it's worth the $5,000 spent. So I would like approval. Since it's on here, I would like to take a motion to approve the purchase of a sprinkler compressor from International Fire Equipment Corporation, not to exceed $54.39 and 59 cents. And it's going to take like 4 weeks to get. So I would like, that's why I'm putting it on this agenda to approve tonight, so I can get this ordered.
Tonight?
Today, right now.
It also makes a terrible beeping sound.
Oh,
It lasts all day, and it's like right in our offices.
Yeah.
And it's like a high pitch, like, beep, like someone's dying.
Yeah.
And you can shut it off temporarily, but then like a half an hour later, pops back.
So, motion to approve.
So where does this like just?
Oh, this comes under building maintenance.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have it.
We have money in there for these type of things, yes.
I need a second.
I second it.
Okay, any other discussion?
You said 4 weeks?
3 to 4, I think it says right under 3 to 4 weeks to get, yeah. So, okay. Merry Christmas, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's why you okay. Call the vote.
Trustee Sam?
Yes.
Trustee Newport DK?
Yes.
Supervisor Conrad?
Yes.
And Trustee Wilson?
Okay, before we move into executive session, we'll have a motion to go into executive and come back out. If we come back out, business will be over with. But I just want to let everybody know that the next town meeting we're suggesting for January 22nd, which is not the last Wednesday of the month. It's the 4th, I believe, but it's not the last Wednesday of the month.
We have a community center meeting at 10.
We have a what?
We have a community center committee meeting.
We'll have to move that one.
So the 22nd instead of 29th?
Correct.
At 8:30?
Correct. The two primary people won't be here the 29th.
We have health and wellness on the 20th, right?
The committee meetings, no.
No,
That's what I had down.
it's, I think it's before then.
I have it at the 15th, I think it was.
Oh.
I don't know.
Yeah, that means about.
Oh,
Yeah,
at 9.
All right.
The 22nd, maybe pushing it.
Well, if we do. That's why Betsy's here.
Yeah.
Do we need to have the ambulance stand by?
We can FaceTime you in.
You gotta have new shoe space.
Well, we can move the committee meetings, because this is something else that, we can't have it on the 29th, so we have to work around this,
22nd.
or whatever the date was.
So 8:30 to 27th.
Yes.
Which is a Wednesday?
Yes,
Oh,
still Wednesday. Okay, so we'll have a motion to adjourn. No, executive session?
Yeah, I need to enter into, I need a motion to enter.
That's what I said, a motion to go into executive session.
Motion, somebody?
Oh, motion.
Second?
Was Lori?
Trustee Newport DK?
Yes.
Trustee Wilhite? Trustee Sam?
Yes.
Supervisor Powell?
Yes. A roll, please.
I need a motion to come out.
Okay, motion to come out, I was for the motion to come out.
Okay. Supervisor Powell?
Yes.
Supervisor, Trustee Sam?
Yes.
Trustee Newport DK?
Yes.
Trustee Wilhite?
Okay, we're now in open session. I'm going to suggest that we do a motion at the next board meeting, but make it effective today, okay? So that's how we'll motion at the next board meeting, just so everything's clear and up and open, all right? So we'll add it to the board meeting agenda, effective today, November 20th.
Yeah.
Okay?
Thanks, everybody.
Yes, sir.
When's next payroll?
Next week.
Next week?
Next week?
Yeah.
So this would have to be retroactive?
Yes, it would be, yes.
Okay, you're okay?
Okay, everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
So what?
Because payroll
Just
next
pay
week.
her.
It won't be
So we'll
that.
have to retro pay her,
Yeah.
back pay her, yeah, for the difference. Okay, we're all okay with that?
I thought there's another meeting next week.
No. Not next week. It's short week next week, no.
It's short week, yeah.
Okay? All right, so moving forward, can we have a motion then to adjourn? Correct?
Yeah.
Motion to
Did we
adjourn.
approve that?
Oh,
No, we're not motioning anything.
Oh.
We're just,
she said the consent, the board,
Okay.
the board meeting.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
I got that, who's second?
Just a second.
Okay. Trustee Upworthy,
Yes.
trustee Wilhite,
Yes.
trustee Tatum,
Yes.
supervisor Fambro.
yes. We adjourn 9:46.
Everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.